Good morning. If you're watching this, it is New Year's Day. At the time of recording this, it's New Year's Eve Day. And I thought I would take this moment to wish everybody a good New Year's and hope that 2022 will be a better year for you. And hopefully you know the blessings that you had this year. Anyways, I wanted to talk about Facebook. So on December 1st, I did a little breezy out here. I did a sabbatical. I took a break from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram because I realized I was wasting a lot of time, and I wanted to do it as an experiment. It was inspired by Tex Crowley, Texas Media Foundry. Look him up on YouTube. He's the guy that did a video about me several years ago. I am Life of a Trucker number 7. Just type that in the Googles and you'll find his channel, and you will see who I'm talking about. He's one of the originators of this whole trucking YouTube universe. But anyways, so when I changed my food diet and went without sugar for a long time, the first time you have something, you realize, wow, okay, this is what it's doing to your body. Same thing when I went on the carnivore challenge. I realized what foods really did irritate me in one form or another, both mentally or physically or whatever. And so I thought, well, what if I did that with social media? And of course, I didn't give up the YouTubes. And so here's the things that I learned when I gave up Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Now, Twitter, it's fair to say that I'm not on there a lot. A lot of times if I post a picture, I'll just hit Twitter as well, and I really don't post on there. I don't really go on there a whole lot because I follow a lot of musicians, and when everything was in a political upheaval, I really saw a lot of favorite musicians of mine really say some outrageous things, and so I really didn't go on there a whole lot because, I like listening to my music. I don't want to know your politics, right? Instagram, though, that was where I started to notice an issue. So you have the Instagram Reels. Now, I've made fun of TikTok and how toxic it is, but that's like making fun of Budweiser with a Miller in your hand, right? It's Instagram Reels are the same thing. And I found myself on that stuff too much, and I realized that I had a 3-hour limit on each of the Facebook and Instagram. I realized I was hitting those limits every day, so I thought, you know what, I need to really do something about this. So when I did this 30-day thing, here are the things that I learned. Number one, there's a physical habit to it. I took away the 2 shortcuts on my phone. And whenever I found myself bored or listening to, even watch the TV during commercials. If you watch regular TV, there is a ton of commercials. It's gotten to the point that I'll listen to stuff on the DVR or watch stuff on the DVR just so I can skip through the commercials. And I timed it one time. For every 10 minutes of TV, you have 5 minutes of commercial. So a 2-hour movie might take you 3.5 hours to get through. And so in the past, what I would do is during commercials, I would, pick up Facebook. Meanwhile, there's stuff around the house I need to be doing. There's stuff related to business I needed to be doing. And I was procrastinating. So I wanted to dig into, does the internet, social media stuff cause procrastinating? So guess what I did? I watched a YouTube video about procrastinating, right? But what I discovered was the dopamine and the cortisol that we get from external stresses, that's what creates procrastination. One of the contributors. And so one of the things that I started to discover was if I was bored enough to pick up my phone and look at a blank spot on my phone, guess what? Now I could get stuff done. Next thing you know, I'm getting stuff done around the house. I'm paying attention to everything a little bit more. My attention went up. And I found my anxiety levels going down a little bit. As much as I filter, as well as I think that I have Facebook filtered, you don't realize just how much negative and useless information you're getting just by being on Facebook, checking up on your friends, right? And I found like this emptiness was there because of that, because of not doing Facebook. So, you know, and I had a chance to be bored, and through boredom comes creativity. Through boredom, you know, I actually started reading a book. You know, there were other. I replaced it. You know, somebody called me and said, "Steve, so you find yourself you're replacing one thing with another. How's your YouTube time?" And my YouTube time didn't really go up because I didn't get into the YouTube Shorts, which would be easy to do because they're set up just like TikTok. But I did watch a little bit more YouTube, but that's hard to gauge because there's a lot of times that I'm listening to podcasts going down, you know, going around the house, and you know, I listen to a lot of like live quote unquote radio that's on YouTube. You know, I do use YouTube Music a lot, just like I use Spotify. And so, and then there was a lot of stuff that I watched on TV from YouTube, like concerts and stuff like that. So yeah, my TV time went up a little bit, but only because I wasn't in the truck. Pause for the helicopter. Pretty noisy today. So my YouTube time didn't really go up very much, if at all. And the way I know is that my phone will send me a weekly report on how much I use, how much screen time I've used, and I noticed that my screen time for each day on the average went down 5 hours a day. So that told me that, wow, okay, so I'm on Facebook way too much. Now, I did have some curiosity about how a couple of friends were doing. There was a couple of shows that I kind of missed out on because I didn't see the invites. I still have Facebook Messenger on my regular page, but not on my Snorelord Facebook page, so I missed a couple of those messages. But for the most part, once I got over that dopamine withdrawal, I was fine. And so today was the test day. Today was, okay, I'm going to get on Facebook for the first time in a month. And of course I had like, you know, probably over 100 notifications. A couple of people posted Merry Christmas and all that on my timeline and all that. And I didn't scroll through the news that much. And when I did, I found myself going faster and not caring. That was the thing, is once you separate everybody's BS from yourself, I found myself not a lack of empathy, not caring, but just like, this isn't important to me anymore. It's kind of like if you're going through a major life event, this YouTube drama, the Facebook stuff, all that doesn't matter anymore. You know, you're not going to gripe about another YouTube if you just had a death in the family. You know what I mean? And so I found myself recognizing just how insignificant these things were, and they're not important to your life. So if you get on any social media platform, you know, and you have people that, well, I don't watch the news, but they're on Facebook, you're getting the news of 100 people in your feed and ads that you didn't ask for, of stuff that you don't buy, and you're being bombarded with that information. So this digital noise just becomes this noise, this background. And so the best analogy that I can give you is that, like, you hear all the noises, you hear the cars in the background, you hear the loud birds, you hear the helicopter that went over. And then if we were to drive 35 miles from here, we'd be out in the country, no traffic, a few birds still, but no helicopter, no motorcycles, just nature, right? That's what it was like. I found myself being clearer. I found my procrastination going down. I found my motivation going up. And I found my mental health was a little bit better. It was kind of like losing 5 pounds. You know, You don't really see the difference, but you feel the difference. And for me, that was important. So what I did is I put an app timer on both Facebook and Instagram, because I was afraid I was just going to binge Facebook once I had the chance. But I didn't, because I was able to cut the cord for the most part. I went to a couple of the rate per mile pages on, the trucking pages, which does have some useful information. It helps me at least see the trends that are going on that other owner operators are dealing with. And I noticed that there was probably some drama about the Colorado driver that the sentencing of that. And I realized that I was kind of glad, because I could see that was a heated argument, but I didn't get involved in it. And so it allowed me to just kind of look at everything from an aerial view. And I learned that I really don't need that in my life. So I put the app timer on an hour. Instagram, I haven't even checked. I did post a bunch of pictures on Facebook, of like Christmas crap and stuff like that. But for the most part, other than missing out on a show, I really don't know the full effect of what all I missed. Like, did somebody close to me die that I don't know about? Or did a friend from old times pass away? Or are they going through something, something like that? Or an internet-only friend, something happened to them? I didn't really dig that far into the news feed, because I didn't need to. And so it's kind of like kicking the habit. It's kind of like quitting smoking. And yes, there was a time when I was like 20, I smoked cigarettes for a minute. It ruined my vocals, so I stopped doing it. But I would imagine it would be like going without cigarettes for 30 days and having that one and realize that it makes you sick, and having the mental fortitude to sit there and say, you know what, this definitely isn't good for me. So I don't see myself getting on Facebook that much. I don't see myself, quote unquote, living off of it, because I might sit there in denial and say, well, I didn't live on Facebook, but yet my phone screen went down 4 hours a day, so obviously I was on there too much. So, and you have to be bored. You have to know what to do in boredom. Through boredom becomes creativity. And that's why, handing your child, I'm talking like 10 and under, a cell phone, just to keep them occupied, keep them from being bored. To me, that's not good, because creativity comes out of boredom. Thoughts come out of boredom. Thinking, the next invention comes out of boredom. It comes out of doing everyday mundane things. You don't have to be entertained every single second that you're awake. You just don't have to. And I've become really sensitive on these brainwashing devices that people have in their hand. And, they're going down the road driving literally like this, not even using a phone mount. You truck drivers too. Everybody at traffic lights is typing away. I've seen people type with two thumbs while using their knees to steer the wheel. I'd see people at restaurants that are meant to entertain, and they got their phones in their hand. And you're not enjoying life. Concerts have become kind of crappy to go to here in the last 5 years, because everybody's got their cell phone up. I got to record every single second. They can't just absorb and remember it. And so by cutting out Facebook, I found myself being able to concentrate better. And I found myself with kind of a little bit better attitude about things, I remember when the riots were going on, I felt this anxiety. I wasn't even there, because what it's doing, it's creating cortisol, because it's creating that fear or flee device, or fight or flight device in that we're all embedded with, as humans. Even though I was safely sitting there on my couch watching all of this. So that's what that does. Whether it does it a little bit or does it a lot. You wake up at 6 in the morning and you read on Facebook that your best friend's house just got robbed. Well, boom, doom, right there. Shoot a laser into your head that says, this is a stress. It's not your problem. Is it sad? Yes. But you've just been given this bad news, or what you might consider bad news, first thing in the morning. You didn't even realize it. You didn't ask for that. That's like someone calling you at 3 in the morning. Hey, your dog just died. You're like, you know, you, you just like, what? You know, and that's what that internet does. You know, that's what Facebook and Instagram does, right? Now, I do know that there are some positive uses, but, you know, it's kind of like, you know, having a beer or a glass of wine. You know, it's good to have with dinner, but to drink excessively all the time, you know, it becomes a bad thing, right? And I wanted to make sure I didn't get in this binge and purge kind of thing, like don't do Facebook for 30 days and then do nothing but Facebook for the next 5 days. I didn't want to do that, and so far that's been good. So um, so end result, it's been very positive. It's opened my eyes on just how mind numbing the internet has been to our society, and how crazy, you know, you think the times are so crazy right now. People have lost their minds and they're doing insane, stupid things. It's the internet. It's the internet capitalizing on human emotions, human nature. You know, we've always had that. We've always had the mob mentality. That's been there since day one. However, you know, there's an uptick of mental illness, there's an uptick of suicides, there's an uptick of depression in both adults and kids. I've lost friends to suicide in the last couple of years. You know, I know families that are dealing with kids that have done some self-destructive behavior. Like, you know, there's a epidemic of young girls cutting themselves. You know, there's an epidemic of TikTok induced you know, disorders. You know, there's the evidence is there, and no one's really addressing it a whole lot. You know, and you can't do anything. You can barely run a business now without social media. So it's like a necessary evil, right? So, anyways, so I feel better now. Will I be off Facebook completely? No, but you're going to see less of a presence from me. The urge to show a picture of my meal, or to have a selfie, or anything like that, like look at this cool thing that, you know, only I give a shit about, you know, that urge is pretty much all but gone, you know, because I don't have the internet telling me I need to do that. Anyways, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's Day. Be safe New Year's Eve. I hope you were safe New Year's Eve, because this video won't be uploaded till tomorrow. I appreciate all my subscribers. You know, we hit 4,000 this year, and we'll see what 22 brings. You know, it's not all doom and gloom out there, people. I know that I've talked about it. I know I talked about making preparations and making sure that, you know, you've got things right, because it's going to be a rough couple of years. And so far, I haven't been wrong. But at the same time, you got to enjoy life. You got to get your phone out of the screen. Put down, after my video is done, go outside, go for a walk. You know, just you know, have a good cup of coffee with friends. You know, and just do something for yourself that doesn't involve this little device that you got in your hand. So with that being said, thanks for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and hit the like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. And there it is. So, cheers.